We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? It is Ben, Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle, wrestling's punching bag. And yeah, we got a pretty fucking great show for you today. It's the weekend, or the week rather, before Crown Jewel, so I mean, obviously things are kind of piping down a little bit, but before we get into what we got, Don, take it away, bud.
That is right, and the We Are Wrestling Podcast is coming out on Halloween instead of Friday. You guys are probably wondering why the show is coming out a day before the regular date, and that is because we figured it would just work out better if we recorded this on Wednesday rather than Thursday, because Ben is going to be going over onto his Twitch channel doing like a Halloween watch-along thing all day long. And then, of course, I got to get ready because on Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be at Rhode Island Comic-Con. So there's like realistically no way that we can get the podcast out on Friday. Ben's got a lot going on, and I also got a lot going on, but Ben will be live for WWE Crown Jewel this Saturday. But before we get into this week's episode of the podcast, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. Give us a follow. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, all free. And if you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button. Now turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know, the grind is real.
I'm the boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you.
And that was just a little spoiler right there of who we're putting over this week because it's Halloween season. But a couple things before we do get into our power of the poll and the highlight of the weeks. First off, we do want to send our condolences to Ric Flair's family because his stepson tragically passed away and took his own life. So we really do want to send our love, our condolences over to the Flair family, because nobody should have to go through that. And if you are struggling with mental health and you are feeling like not right, like there is always help out there. And we recommend you guys like to get that help if you are going through something like that. And we also want to send our thoughts to Chris Bay, a TNA wrestling superstar who unfortunately had a really bad injury during the Impact, the TNA tapings. I believe it was the day after Bound for Glory. And they did put a statement out, I believe, a couple days ago, and this is what Chris Bay said. I just want to take a few moments to extend my heartfelt thanks and deepest appreciation for so much and to so many over the past few days. From everybody at TNA Wrestling, to the incredible medical staff here in Detroit, to the family, friends, and fans worldwide. I know you have been praying for my full recovery from the in-ring accident this past Sunday. Monday was day one for me on this journey, which I know will be long and challenging. Thanks again for the love and support, and keep the prayers coming. So in case you guys don't know, Chris Bay, he did sustain a really bad neck injury during one of his matches during the tapings that happened.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I'm not obviously, I'm obviously not a fan of anybody that gets injured on the job, especially doing what they love this early on into their career, because that also develops complications down the line, no matter how much, and how great you heal. You're not at 100% anymore. You're
Yeah,
working with a very,
plus his age too, man.
yeah. So
He's
it's like
I believe in his late 20s right now.
exactly. So that just put a huge fork in his career right there. So depending on the severity of the situation, if it's one of those miracle things where it doesn't require surgery, or it might require surgery, or it doesn't
He
require a
already
lot
did,
of.
I believe, have surgery.
Oh, okay. Well, then like it just it comes all the way down to the healing now. But again, it does cause complications down the line. So if surgery is involved, that's something to relearn. That's something that you're gonna have to rehab. That's something you have to work around while also working. So that's a lot of pain down the line. This it's unfortunate, and injuries are scary, and it doesn't matter the gravity of the situation. It does, it brings some miles down on your career. So again, speedy recovery. Hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully he can get right back up where he belongs very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Edge, Adam Copeland, he donated $10,000 to the GoFundMe. So if you guys do want to donate to Chris Bay, we will be putting that in the first link down in the description box below.
Yeah.
But some pretty sad things happened this week. But we also do want to wish all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, like if you guys are bringing out, like if you're a kid, like please be safe tonight if you're going out trick-or-treating. Just want to put that out there as well, because health is wealth.
And let your parents check your fucking candy. We got weirdos out there.
Yes, absolutely. And just another couple more things. On friggin' this weekend, November 1st and 2nd, myself and Casual Cam will be at Rhode Island Comic Con, November 8th and the 9th. I'll be out in Long Island, New York. And then on Saturday, November 16th, the Wrestling Classic, We Are Wrestling, is going to be there, and we're bringing ECW legend Little Guido. So if you are in the Springfield, Mass area and you are looking to meet him, we will be there with him all day long. And we're going to be vlogging it. So if you aren't there, like, you'll be able to witness the adventure. Danny Huckins will be behind that camera, making sure that we get some really good footage. So
Absolutely.
it's going to be it's been a very eventful November.
Hell yeah, man.
So, with that being said, now let's get into the power of the poll, where every week we tell all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs to go to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, our community tab, and every week we give you guys a week to vote on our power of the poll. And this week, I figured, well, let's talk about some WWE, because I feel like we haven't really had any polls related to that in a little while. So we asked you guys, which wrestler out of these four would you want Triple H to push? And man, we had some pretty interesting choices. So the fans got to choose between Omos, Baron Corbin, Tozawa, or Cedric Alexander. So Ben, you want to hit that beat so we can see the results? And it was a tight race. 20% of the Maniacs chose Omos, while 19% of them picked Cedric Alexander. Only 8% picked Tozawa.
I hate you for that.
And
graphic.
the winner is Baron Corbin with 53%. How do you feel about the vote?
It's who I would have picked. 100% if I was a fan in the We Are Wrestling base. So I would have picked. That's who I've been wanting to see sprout for quite a long time. So, yeah, 100% landslide for me. Baron Corbin, all the way. As much as I love a couple of those other dudes that are on the poll, Baron Corbin.
Man, I just wish Tozawa got some more love. I wish he
Yeah,
got some more love.
I do too. Like, obviously, better booking, gimmick change, maybe even go under the wing of Shinsuke Nakamura, dude. Like, you can do a lot of cool shit, you know. But I think out of all of them, if anybody really needs like a good revamper, that could have been great. It's Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I just feel like,
Put him on
unfortunately,
the Rock's
like
gym plan, bro.
when it comes to like the plan B, like getting like a new opportunity, I just feel like when it comes to all four of these guys, like they're in career suicide right now, and I feel like they're not going to be able to reach where they once were, especially Baron Corbin, because he was
Eh,
so over during the time as the
dude.
Lone Wolf, and he's just not the same guy that he was
Yeah, like I said,
almost 10
bro, that
years
all
ago.
that comes down to creative, and that comes down to a gimmick change and what he can do, and that's also hit a fucking gym and put down the goddamn smoker. For fuck's sake, I love how his food comes out. Like I love looking at all of his shit on Instagram, but dude, put down the fucking smoker and go to a gym. Like if he could just reinvent himself physically, people are going to see his potential with how well he's gonna fly in the ring, and when that happens, it's gonna be nuts. Because I mean, the dude can cut a promo. The dude can talk on a mic. The dude can fucking wrestle his goddamn heart out, and he's one of the safest that they have. You
That
can put a
is
rocket ship
very
on this
true.
guy, bro. Just you got to do it the right way.
And I will say, like, if I had to pick out of the four, I'm going to go Baron Corbin because the potential has always been there realistically.
We just got to
And
unlock it.
before they actually drafted him to SmackDown, he was doing a really good job, like, with his last, like, NXT run. He went over there, he reinvented himself a little bit, and then they kind of just, like, I don't know why they brought him up, like, without having a game plan. Because, like, he just got lost in the shuffle, and now he's teaming with Apollo. Doesn't make sense.
What the fuck? He's
Yeah,
teaming
they've
with
been
Apollo?
teaming on SmackDown.
Okay. All right. All right. Now let's wrap this up. I
But I
can't
will
take
say,
anymore.
though, Cedric Alexander, that's somebody I would really like to see as well get the
Oh,
opportunity.
absolutely.
Because I feel like if maybe they could find somebody in that performance center that they could pair him up with, and I think that he could be a solid tag team guy because he did really good with Shelton during the time.
Dude, 1,000%.
But yeah, so if you guys want to be a part of the Power of the Poll, all you got to do is go to the We Are Wrestling YouTube community tab and vote, which I believe we do have our next week's Power of the Poll up right now. So if you guys want to vote on that, go over to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. So with that being said, now let's get into the We Are Wrestling highlight of the week. A lot has been happening on professional wrestling television this week. Ben, what has got to be your highlight?
Mine's actually an off television moment, and it was Roman Reigns finally submitting and saying yeet. And then all three, both the Usos reuniting, and then them all putting up the ones. 100%.
Oh, what's going to be shown on SmackDown on Friday?
I don't. I think it was off the air, bro.
No, because I think it was they taped the episode of SmackDown after last week's episode because they're in Saudi for Crown Jewel.
Well,
So
spoiler
Ben
alert.
apparently watched some spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Roman finally says yeet. So
Come on,
that
why
was
did you
my
have to
highlight.
spoil that to me? I'm supposed
Bitch,
to
I
do
thought it happened off.
reactions.
Bitch, I thought it happened off fucking air. That's what it said in the fucking short. So I didn't think it was a spoiler. I thought bitches knew. What the fuck?
I'll be in Rhode Island doing some SmackDown reactions probably with
there you
Casual
go.
Cam.
Exactly.
But,
There you go.
but now I know, so I have to let the maniacs know that.
Okay. Well.
Spoiler
Okay.
alert.
Okay. It was the way he said yeet was good. Okay. Boom. Next. What was your
I
highlight
can't wait
of
to
the
see
week?
it. So, if I had to pick a highlight of the week, I gotta go with Sami Zayn now getting involved with the Bloodline. I thought they did a great job here this past Monday on Raw because I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
like how they were gonna do it with Sami Zayn. But honestly, like I really like the fact that like him and Jimmy, they have that tension going on. And then like Jay and Sammy kind of got into a little argument. He said, "You're not family." So now Solo's trying to like manipulate his like way with Sammy. And it makes
Yep.
sense because Sammy did have a good relationship with Solo before he got turned on. So I kind of like that Sammy's like right now, like doesn't know where he's at. But I feel like
Yeah.
eventually he's going to be the fourth man and we're going to get OG Bloodline, new Bloodline, Survivor Series, War Games.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen.
This is what Sammy needs, I think, too, for his career.
It just sucks that he can never stand on his own. And that's like, again, I've been preaching that since day one. Like, he can't stand on his own on the main roster, and it's unfortunate. I feel like if he went back to NXT, it'd be fucking wonders for him.
See,
but...
I don't feel that way. My problem with Sami Zayn is his promos is like a freaking cassette player. It's like you go back, you replay it, it's the same thing he says every single time. That's my biggest issue with him. Because he's very talented in the ring. Like, he's really good at chasing the championship, but when he wins the title, then it's like he gets lost in the shuffle, and it just feels very just...
He becomes a transitional champion.
Yep, transitional champion. That's the terminology. So now with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast, episode 132. And usually for the We Are Wrestling weekly recap, we go over some of the craziest things that have happened during the wrestling world during the week on television. So the first one we have here, which I think is definitely the biggest thing that has happened this week in the wrestling world. Last Friday on SmackDown, we saw the Motor City Machine Guns capture the WWE Tag Team Championships. Do you think it's too soon?
I don't know what to think, honestly, because they gave it to Ethan Page, which, I mean, I thought was fucking wild when it came to the NXT title. And 7 weeks. Fucking Machine Guns literally just debuted the week prior. I mean, I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like we're just getting this like crazy invasion, and people from other companies are just winning titles, and people are weirdly here for it. But the Machine Guns, I mean, I'm assuming, as good as they look, as good as they're flying, as good as they're running in the ring still, they've been going for years, man. So I think that they're trying to knock the shit out early, so that they can kind of focus, putting over other talent, really just having a good run in WWE, because I think this is where they're going to end it. We're obviously nearing the end. This is something that should have happened years ago. So I mean, too soon, no, but too fast, yes. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from. And usually,
You're established.
Here's the thing. Usually I'm the one to criticize when somebody wins a championship so fast and hasn't earned it. I even said that about Mercedes Moné, because she didn't even have like a match in AEW.
Bro, she's the most fucking bitched about wrestler right now. Come on.
And then Logan Paul, he only had like 2 wrestling matches, and then he got a title shot against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel a few years ago. And I didn't like that either, because there was really no logical sense there. Part-timers like Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, I've always had issues with. But with Motor City Machine Guns, maybe this is because I watched TNA growing up. I am not mad at this whatsoever. Like, these two have been busting their asses for years, grinding all over the world, and like being known as one of the best tag teams in this generation, and paving the way for a lot of these future teams. So for them to get the championships soon, I think that this is a good move, because let's be honest here, on the We Are Wrestling podcast, you and I, all year long, we have been criticizing the way WWE books the tag team division, and I think that this gives the SmackDown tag teams a fresh start. And that's what it needs.
The Machine Guns are a legendary fucking established tag team. Like, who wouldn't want to see the fucking titles on them, to see who could take them? They're genuinely a fucking established team. They are the Usos outside of the Usos. Like, literally is prolific as them. Like, everybody knows the Machine Guns, bro. Everybody.
And even on WWE TV, they have made it make sense for Motor City Machine Guns to be a contender for the tag titles, because Nick Aldis has been putting them over since debuting.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
like, they haven't, like, erased the history that they have had. Like, they've even had video packages of the stuff that they did in TNA. And they have really put over, like, they have been on the grind for over 20 years. And, like, this is their final destination. So, like, they made it make sense. While, like, AEW, when they bring somebody in, they rush it too fast. There's, like, no story behind it. That's why I think a lot of people in the IWC criticize when somebody gets a championship right away in AEW. But at least
agree.
with WWE, Motor City Machine Guns, I will admit, they have actually earned it. And this is just a great fresh start. So I'm happy. I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, I agree.
And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next with them. But moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling weekly recap at TNA Bound for Glory. The Hardy Boys won the TNA Tag Team Championships in Full Metal Mayhem. How do you feel about the Hardy Boys capturing the TNA tag titles?
Upset because that means they're going to be there for a little bit, but I mean, at the same time, they're winning tag team gold again together in 2024. I'm assuming they're going to be another team that crosses the forbidden door, so to speak. That's going to go to WWE at some point. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. They're putting over other stars while also making it prestigious. I mean, that's really all I got, man. They're like, when it comes to the Hardys, they're just, they're living legends, and it's going to be exciting where it goes from here.
It is, and I can't wait to meet them at Rhode Island Comic-Con this weekend, get some figures signed.
Again.
But when it comes to the Hardys, I love that, they're here and they're redeeming themselves from that horrible AEW run. And I love that TNA is giving them that platform, that opportunity, because when the Hardys were at their lowest, TNA were there for them. So the fact that, on this little retirement run, they decided to, let's not go to WWE right away. Let's go to TNA. And let's make some noise over there for a little bit, since it's got some momentum going. And I feel like in 2025, the Hardys, or maybe even 2026, that's when they're going to come back to WWE, have their final match, and then get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And one cool thing about this match, Ben, I've only saw clips, I haven't got to watch the full match yet. Definitely something I'm going to have to do on my free time. So one cool thing, I guess, from what I heard on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast from Brian Myers, who was in the match because he was a part of the system.
Yeah.
I guess during the match, they did the canvas, the ring canvas was customized by Jeff Hardy, and all the weapons, so the ladders, the tables, the chairs were all painted and designed by Jeff Hardy.
Oh, dope as fuck.
So something that I definitely highly recommend you check out. But congratulations to the Hardy Boys on capturing the TNA gold. They're legends over there. They're legends all over the place, except AEW, because they didn't know how to use them. But I love that they're here killing it, especially Jeff Hardy being in the right mental space. Congratulations to the Hardys. But moving on now to our last TNA recap here, because Bound for Glory is their biggest show of the year, so we would not be doing justice if we didn't talk about it, even though you and I didn't watch it. At TNA Bound for Glory, fans were upset with Nick Nemeth retaining the TNA World title against Joe Hendry. What's your thoughts on this booking decision? Because a lot of fans, obviously Joe Hendry has gotten very viral, and even myself, I even said it, I believe, during Slammiversary, that Joe Hendry, he should win the championship at Bound for Glory, and it didn't happen.
Cody Rhodes syndrome. Let's put some adversity in there.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree. I thought that, this would have been the perfect time to do it, but maybe TNA, they realize that Joe Hendry is going to be leaving soon. He's going to go to WWE. So let's not give him the world championship. But I think it could have definitely benefited them giving the gold to him, so that if he does have a very successful run over in WWE, they're going to look back and say, Joe Hendry, I remember when he was the TNA world champ. And now finally, moving on to our last We Are Wrestling weekly recap. Another guy that I'm not very familiar with, and I know you aren't, because when I thought you would know who he is, but you don't.
I have no fucking clue.
It's been announced this week that Big Boom AJ of the Costco guys will face QT Marshall on the AEW Full Gear 0 Hour. So in case you guys don't know who AJ, the Costco guys are, it's the stupid thing that's going around social media. The guy goes, boom, crumble cookies, da-da-da. And AEW, I guess he used to wrestle before he went viral, so AEW actually signed him to a deal.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, they
So
did.
how do you feel about that, Ben? From the clip I played for you.
Waste
earlier.
of fucking money. It's fucking South Park City all over it. Like, it's just fucking... It's everything you'd expect Tony Khan to conjure up. Like, it's literally like he shit on a plate and now we're gonna fucking eat it. So it's... I don't know, dude. It makes no fucking sense, and it's gonna be on a fucking pay-per-view apparently, or it's gonna be on a fucking... I don't fucking know, dude. It just... Why?
Hey, is the shit gonna be on the crumble cookie?
Probably. That's probably what the cookie's fucking made out of.
One good thing, though, about this, I will say, was on Saturday Night Live, they actually did advertise the match for Full Gear. So
That's
that is
cool.
good for AEW, like, publicity-wise, but...
Oh, yeah, but...
Besides that, like, I feel like AEW, like, needs to just focus on their talent and just rebuild their show. Start, like, just rebuild. Like, stop investing in
at this
all
point,
of
I don't know
this.
if they can even fucking come back from anything they fucking do at this point. Like, they just dig themselves a fucking grave. So I just, yeah. This is just another slap to the face of many AEW fans, and I feel horrible for them.
Yeah, I really don't care about this. Like, I know they're trying to get casuals, but, like, with the... Like, if you want to bring in casuals, give us good storylines! That's all I'm gonna say.
Bro, just you'd have better luck getting fucking Markiplier. At least he's in fucking shape to do this shit. And at least he's as big as Logan Paul almost. In terms of YouTube popularity, he's got pull.
I will say, though, about this AJ guy, he is in really good shape, though. That is one thing I will say. But moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly recap on NXT this past Tuesday. It's official. NXT champion Trick Williams will be teaming up with Bubba Ray Dudley versus Ethan Page and Ridge Hollins in the 2300 arena next week. Also, RVD will be wrestling, and they did tease an FBI appearance, which our boy Nuncio will be at the Wrestling Classic, and even the Queen of Extreme, Francine. What's your thoughts on ECW Legends being a part of this first time being in the 2300 arena for WWE?
Gonna be sick. It's gonna be really, really, really sick. You know, I mean, it's always a good time for nostalgia. It's always a good time to have some, old wrestlers coming and, still fucking running it in the ring and seeing how well they can go still. It's a celebratory purpose, it's a fun time.
Yeah, I think that this is a great move and something I never expected to happen, because if you are like a maniac, like ECW, that was their Madison Square Garden, was the 2300 arena, and they've had so many memorable moments in there. So the fact that like WWE is going in there and having NXT, I think is a brilliant marketing idea, because obviously with the election next Tuesday, NXT will not be on TV. Instead, they're going to be going against AEW on Wednesday, which I will be doing a live watch along, doing a multi-stream, watching both of the shows. So if you do want to join me on that, I will be a part of that. But, man, I'm very excited about this. I think that this is great marketing. Like, I love, like, that NXT is, like, bringing in, like, main roster people from WWE. They're bringing in legends from all over the place. It's a great way to develop new stars, because sometimes you got to have the old stars put over the new stars. Like, this past Tuesday, man, with Bubba and Trick Williams. I thought that that was a really cool spot there. And Bubba looks good. So I can't wait to see what happens there. And I do hope Nuncio does show up, for the simple fact that we're going to be bringing him to the Wrestling Classic. They'll bring in some momentum to the We Are Wrestling table.
That's big.
That is big. And it's always good to see good old Rob Van Dam, baby. So it's going to be interesting. AEW is going to have to go against ECW and NXT next week. It's going to be a good time. But up next, we have our We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast episode 132.
Hey, this is Flip Gordon. You're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast. Let's flip and go!
Saturday, November 16th at the South End Community Center in Springfield, Mass. We Are Wrestling is returning to the Wrestling Classic 5.
Zombie Hideout and Captain's Corner is putting together a lineup full of wrestling legends and Hall of Famers you have the opportunity to meet.
Some of the big names you can meet includes good old Jim Ross, Donovan Dijak, Deborah, and many more stars to be announced.
We Are Wrestling will be selling exclusive merchandise you can only find at the Classic, and for the very first time, we'll be recording a special bonus episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast.
We highly encourage the We Are Wrestling Maniacs to come to our booth and hang out with us. You can interact and meet the best one, Donnie, Ben, and Ricky Knows Best.
This will be the best wrestling classic yet, and it will all be happening on Saturday, November 16th at the South End Community Center in Springfield, Mass.
Get your tickets now at www.zombie-hideout.com. We're back, and if you have nothing going on Saturday, November 16th, We Are Wrestling will be at the Wrestling Classic 5. There's going to be lots of awesome legends there at this event, and We Are Wrestling. We're going to be a vendor. We're bringing in good old Little Guido, Nuncio, so if you are looking to come out to the Springfield, Mass area, it's going to be a great time. Plus, later on that night, Blitzkrieg Pro is going to be putting on a show, and you can watch Dijak go against CPA for the Blitzkrieg Bedlam Championship. And we even got our match sponsored announcement. Becca is going to be going against TJ Crawford. We Are Wrestling will be sponsoring that match, but it's going to be a very fun weekend. Saturday, November 16th, so we do hope to see you guys there. If you can't make it, please watch the vlog when it comes out, and the full match. So now, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. Starting things off, according to Fightful, there were hopes within TNA Impact that AJ Styles would be open to wrestling in TNA again, but there is no word on if that was ever discussed. TNA was interested in possibly inducting AJ Styles into the TNA Hall of Fame this year, but WWE had passed on the idea. So those were the original reports, but then AJ Styles went on social media to clear up the rumors, saying he doesn't want to go into any Hall of Fame while being an active pro wrestler. What's your thoughts on that?
I believe him because he's been preaching that his entire career. He does not want to go into Hall of Fame as an active wrestler. He wants to wrap up his entire career before going anywhere. And I don't blame him. That has been said for years now. That's no surprise. That's no shocker. That's not fucking news. That's just people losing their fucking minds because they don't actually watch the goddamn shit. They sit there scrolling on their phones for the fucking highlights. It's literally just news for the casuals.
For you, casual Cam. But
that's
when
right.
It comes
creep ass.
He's gonna be spooking up on people on Halloween tonight. But when it comes to AJ Styles, I do want to see him wrestle in TNA one more time at least. Like while WWE and TNA are working together.
That is, yeah.
It needs to happen.
That's main event shit.
Because AJ Styles has been teasing retirement, and I thought that maybe at Bound for Glory they were gonna have him show up maybe at the end and do a face off with Ziggler or something. But
he's injured.
He is injured too. That I didn't even consider. But yeah. I do hope though when he does hang up the boots, TNA does induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, they will.
I really do hope WWE does as well because he has had a Hall of Fame worthy career.
Dude. AJ Styles is TNA. So, I mean, that dude is basically their fucking Stone Cold, their Rock, their fucking everything. That dude is the money child of fucking TNA. 100%. I'll say it.
Yeah, exactly. And
you think TNA, you think AJ Styles, bro.
Oh, of course. And I already know one day it's going to happen. I just really want to see AJ just show up in TNA.
He will.
Do something. I'm getting impatient. I'm impatient.
Yeah, I know, brother. I know, but good things come in time.
You are right. Good things do come in time. Speaking of good things, I don't know if you consider this good or bad, but we got an update on the final boss. According to Fightful, sources within WWE claim that the company is a priority for The Rock, and he's expected in the fold here and in sporadic fashion. Some higher-ups said The Rock has made it clear he's part of the family and will appear when he's able. Sources at the Intuit Dome, we're hopeful The Rock would be present at the first WWE Raw on Netflix. And there's buzz internally for it, even though it's not 100% confirmed. So, what's your thoughts on The Rock's schedule? Do you feel like he should be on WWE a little bit more? Should he show up, like, sporadically? Like, what do you think The Rock should do?
I think The Rock is 100% gonna be like in the fold with everything. He's definitely gonna have his match at Mania. I mean, there's no way it's not gonna happen. I mean, especially after, last year. I mean, yeah, I guess if you really think about it, the time was right for it last year. But again, another Cody Rhodes syndrome. Let's put some story in there. Let's put some substance other than just rushing to the process. Roman had just dropped his title and was about to just drop his title. They weren't going to drag it out for another year. They couldn't.
I definitely agree with that.
I think that this is the time. I think that even The Rock's already made a statement on it. Not that actually this particular statement. People are like, oh, he's not going to be ready for Mania. He made don't fucking believe him. He said, don't, unless it came from me, don't fucking believe him. So,
yeah, Barry Meltzer.
I think he's 100%, dude. He said, don't fucking believe him, unless it came from my ass or like legitimately WWE. Don't fucking believe a goddamn word anybody says. So, no, he's going to be at Mania. He is in the fold. He is behind a lot of shit. I have a feeling you and I have been tossing this around on and off camera. He is up to some shit. He is behind somebody, and it's not Roman. So, this will all culminate at Mania.
It will, and I hope we do move forward with the storyline, because The Rock, I understand he has one of the most busiest schedules out of all the celebrities in the world. The dude is in every single movie, animated, action, comedy, it doesn't matter. He's in there. Also, he has all these different adventures because he is an entrepreneur as well as an actor. So, I understand he has a very busy schedule, but now, he committed to this final boss character, and I want to see a little bit more from him. I'm not saying every single week. Yeah. I'm not saying, he needs to get in the ring and wrestle.
No.
I just want to see him make appearances on WWE television.
Yep, have a mic drop moment, fuck off. Boom.
And that's pretty much just something on television, because he did that a lot with the John Cena feud in the early 2010s.
I will say 100% that it is very possible that he's going to do that. I mean, Roman is more full-time than he ever was as a fucking champion. He's been on TV almost every fucking week since he's been back. The dude is in face mode again, bro. He is a workhorse right now, and it's a lot easier and a lot more, flexible to do when you don't have the pressure of a fucking title and you're just doing storylines. It's easy to not have to do so much that a fucking champion has to. He's able to take the time off and not have to do all this fucking media, all this touring. He doesn't have to be a face of a company right now. Exactly. So, he's able to show up on TV a lot more. So I think The Rock will make time too.
And I really do hope, because with the final boss character, you can't just have him just show up and then disappear. I really, I love that he showed up at Bad Blood. That was a perfect ending. But we never got any context after that.
But that's good. That's good. We're letting it boil, and that's good. We're letting it simmer. It's letting us wonder. So when he does pop up, we're going to be excited as fuck for the development, which there's going to be, but in sporadic.
And I think that the development is going to happen at Survivor Series.
Yep, absolutely. He is getting involved in some way.
Yep, and he's going to be helping the New Bloodline win the War Games match.
Possible.
But moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. I thought that we could stop talking about this man, but I guess we can't. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out Ben and I's full Vince McMahon documentary review, highly recommend checking that out. I think it's a must listen. We had some really good points. It was a really good discussion.
It was a very good conversation fueled documentary dissection, so to speak. If you really want our views on a lot of things, definitely check it out. It is 100% a must listen.
Totally. So speaking of Vince McMahon, Vince is launching an entertainment company that's not wrestling. I gotta ask you, Ben, do you give a shit?
Fuck no.
I don't give a shit either. We're not going to be talking about this. Vince McMahon, he's old news. And if he's going to be doing something that's non-wrestling, good for him. It ain't going to go anywhere because here we talk about wrestling. So Vince, fuck off. But up next, we do have our Getting Put Over segment and, of course, the We Are Wrestling main event topic. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast, episode 132.
Hello, I'm Elias, and you are listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Collecting has always had a special place in my heart, going all the way back to when I was a kid. I remember my parents taking me to Toys R Us and waking up on Christmas morning to a bunch of new action figures. I had bins filled with thousands of rare WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA figures through the years until, unfortunately, I ended up selling my whole childhood without knowing the true value of my collection. 2 years after I made that horrible decision, the pandemic hit, and I realized there was a part of me that felt missing, and that was collecting. My whole life, I have loved collecting wrestling figures, wrestling memorabilia, classic video games, Nickelodeon stuff, sneakers, Funko Pops, and even Angry Birds. As time went by, I decided I wanted to get back into collecting, except this time, document it and rebuild my collection over on Best One Donnie. So, if you want to go back into time and relive my nostalgic memories, subscribe now. We're back, and every week here on the We Are Wrestling podcast, we do this thing called the Getting Put Over segment, where every week Ben and I, we alternate. We pick one past, present, or future professional wrestler, and we put them over. Last week, we dedicated our main event topic to CM Punk. Putting him over, we were supposed to do Jack Perry, but because it's Halloween today, it's a little spooky. I figured, let's put over the Boogeyman.
I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm coming to get ya!
Oh man, we are putting over the Boogeyman today, and I can't wait to do this because I do have a story about the time that I actually almost got burnt by the Boogeyman.
Ooh.
That I could share.
My guy,
But,
when it comes to the Boogeyman, what's up?
I was just gonna say, so normally we start off with the accolades, and I went over to Wikipedia.
There's none.
Boogeyman's got nothing. Just nightmares and putting worms in people's mouths.
And his own.
And his own.
So, like,
which my brother did eat a worm during a indie show.
Okay. All right, Donnie. When it comes to the Boogeyman, obviously we know the long-standing feud between him and JBL and the things he did to Jillian, including ripping off and eating her fucking boomer, dude.
That was the grossest thing I've ever seen on WWE TV. Like,
I thought the worms were bad, but no.
No, I'm gonna tell you this, Ben. All right. A lot of people thought that, like, when Mae Young gave birth to a hand, that was one of the most grossest things ever. Nothing beats that friggin' Boogeyman eating Jillian Hall's mole on her face.
Nope. That was the most disgusting fucking thing on the fucking planet. I swear to God, dude. Like, that was genuinely, like, barf material.
She was a good valet, though, for JBL, though.
Phenomenal, dude. I thought that's all she was, and then she started wrestling. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, she did have a pretty good run. Which, if you want to meet Jillian Hall in Springfield, Mass, she will be at the Wrestling Classic.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, she will. Yeah.
You know you want me.
Yeah, you want me.
Sliced bread.
All right, dude.
Yeah, that was like one of the grossest things ever when Boogeyman just ate that freaking bull off her face.
It just sucks because when he first debuted, he was like this unstoppable force, dude. Like, nobody could fuck this dude up. He was like then once Umaga debuted, he was just like chopped liver. He was just getting squashed by this motherfucker. And I'm just like, dude, what? Like, everything I know is just a lie. And then after that, he just kind of went away and just started popping up just to scare the fuck out of
wait, no, I think
ever.
No, I think I know who you're saying. It's not Umaga.
Who was it?
Umaga was on the Raw brand.
Okay, so who was it?
And Boogeyman was on SmackDown. So, like, he had a great run over on the SmackDown brand, and then he went over to ECW, and that's where he put over Big Daddy V, which was Viscera.
Yes.
I think that's who you're
That's what I'm thinking about. Yep, that's what I'm thinking about, was Big Daddy V. So I'm just like, dude, everything is fucking a lie. And then he just started popping up and scaring the fuck out of Booker T for like a year straight, and then just started popping up randomly. Just literally randomly.
That was a good feud, though, for WrestleMania 22 with Booker T and
It was.
Boogeyman. Like, I really did enjoy that a lot, especially, like, the spot at the end with Queen Charmel putting the worms in her mouth. Like, as a fan that hated King Booker,
dude, that was like
fucking...
Dude, that was a chef's kiss moment. Like, that was like the moment that every fan wanted, and like they knew it personally because they sold that shit like it was fucking cinema. They knew it. They're like, they want to see worms in this bitch's mouth because, my God, she's fucking annoying.
And then also, like, one of my favorite feuds that Boogeyman had as well, I remember it was Boogeyman versus Finley, and then that's when Finley debuted Hornswoggle, who was Little Bastard. So then the Boogeyman debuted Little Boogeyman. I loved Little Boogeyman.
Oh my God, you're unearthing so
You want to talk
memories,
about a perfect identical twin? Little Boogeyman was it right there.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And I'm surprised that, like, Boogeyman never had, like, a United States title run. I thought that, like, in 2006, when he was, like, red hot, like, feuding with King Booker,
I thought it was gonna happen.
He was going to have it.
I thought it was going to happen, and it never did.
Yeah, it never really happened for him, unfortunately. But I will say this, though, like, some of the stories, like, about the Boogeyman, like, to me, has always been very entertaining to hear. Like, I know there's this one incident, I don't know if you ever heard, I think you've heard of this incident. It was at OVW when they developed this new Boogeyman character. And Jim Cornette was running things at the time, and Santino Marella was there because he was also a student for WWE, because OVW was like a developmental program. And pretty much Jim Cornette wanted these wrestlers and fans to sell the Boogeyman character, like being all scared. But Santino Marella couldn't stop laughing. And that's how Jim Cornette got fired from WWE, because after that happened, where Santino laughed at the Boogeyman, Jim Cornette slapped friggin' Santino right in the mouth. Yep.
Oh. I would have swung right fucking back.
Oh, and then years later at a independent convention, like back in, I think, like 2018, 2019, Santino actually confronted him. And they had to get security, and then Jim Cornette left the convention.
I think Jim Cornette's a bitch. It's true.
But, yeah, with the Boogeyman, like, he was just such, like, a great character during that time. And that's, like, what I loved about growing up in the Ruthless Aggression era was, like, all these, like, different characters that we got during that time.
Characters died in the Ruthless Aggression era, bro.
Nothing like it, in my opinion.
Yeah, characters died in the Ruthless Aggression era, bro.
And even, like, the presentation, too, of the Boogeyman, like, I always enjoyed the entrance as well, like, coming out with, like, all that red smoke, and then he had the clock and then smacked it on his head.
It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick. It was beautiful. It was, the whole package was an experience, and that is very lacking in WWE nowadays, and I think that needs to come back.
I agree, and it's crazy, too, to, like, look at, like, transformation pictures.
Bro.
Because, like, with Boogeyman, like, he looks like he's in shape, like he's wrestled in 2006.
Shape, yeah, dude, like, here's the fucking crazy thing, is Boogeyman is, like, the walking, talking, like, what if? Like, what could have been? Like, he could have been unstoppable, and they fucking stooped him down to a fucking gimmick, and I hate it.
Yeah, it was a whole comedy thing with him, which is unfortunate.
Could have been so much greater.
They definitely could have done so much more. That I have to agree with you 1000%. But before we do close off this, getting put over, I do want to share the story of the time where I got burnt by the Boogeyman. So there was this live event in Springfield, Mass. It was I believe a Thursday night SmackDown. And this was the go-home show before Armageddon that year, when Randy Orton faced The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. And for the first time ever as a kid, because a lot of the times I would be up in the nosebleeds, my dad actually got me and my cousin, we got seats, like, right by, like, the siding. So, like, when the wrestlers come out, you can high-five them and stuff. So, like, obviously, like, the way they start the shows off, like, it was Velocity, and pretty much, like, you had your jobber matches, and then to open off SmackDown, Nuncio was jobbing out to the Boogeyman. And then when the Boogeyman came out, he smacked the clock, and then the pyro got me right in the thigh.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Yep.
Nice.
And it was
Nice
wintertime
screaming.
too, but it didn't matter that it was wintertime because I had my John Cena jorts on.
Pissed.
So I had this purple and blue friggin'. Oh man, it was one of the most disgusting like bruises I've ever had in my entire life. And then because of that moment, because of the pyro and like getting burnt, I stopped going to wrestling shows for a couple of years because of that. And then like I kind of got myself more comfortable by going to like house shows and like the end of like the 2000s, like going into 2010. And then eventually I finally got over like the whole firework thing and yeah.
Good.
I'm happy I got over it. But what a crazy experience that was. And then I even told Boogeyman about that when I met him at Blitzkrieg back in 2019. And he was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Crazy that happened. I'm like, yeah. But, yeah, this week, guys, we put over the Boogeyman. I thought that it would be a nice little spooky getting put over this week. And since I picked Boogeyman, Ben, do you want to do Jack Perry next week or do you want to pick somebody else?
It's up to you.
It's up to you. It's your turn next week.
Man, fuck a Jack Perry. Let's put over. There's a good one. Let me think.
Give us like an underrated, like ruthless aggression guy.
That could be doable. Let's put over. This is so hard. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Why did that just pop?
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I love that making you
it.
pick for next week when it's like my birthday next Friday when it comes out.
It's up to you, bro. Do you want to
Nope,
pick?
it's up to you.
Fuck.
Unless you can't pick one, and I'll just pick somebody.
No. Let's go with Fuck. I just had it. I just fucking had it.
It's
Let's
hard
put
too because we
over-
have been doing getting put over for like
For a long time, dude.
for a
like
very long time now. So it is
people think
hard to
this
come up
shit's
with
fucking
names.
Easy. People think this shit's fucking easy. It's really not. I would say let's put over. We've already put over Rey Mysterio. God damn it. Oh. Let's put over fucking. Let's put over Kane.
Wait, did we do Kane?
Fuck, we did Kane.
We did do Kane.
Fuck. Did we do Jeff Hardy already?
That I don't think. Wait, no, I don't think we did put over Jeff Hardy yet.
Fuck that. Let's put over John Morrison.
Oh, okay, there we go, guys. Next week we are putting over John Morrison.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that like you thinking about like who we need to put over is longer than like the recap and the weekly news this week.
Dude, you put me on the fucking spot. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to think of like genuinely like interesting people to talk about that we haven't already fucking talked about.
See, that's like one thing, guys, like I will say here, like on the show, like we do go over like all the topics and stuff, but when it comes to like getting put over and like we alternate, like we literally put each other on the spot live when we're recording who we're gonna put over.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little stressful. But
Yeah.
with that being said now, this is gonna be a really good one, I think, this week. So with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling main event topic. And my goodness, you want to talk about a huge game changer in professional wrestling? Well, WWE has launched a new indie wrestling developmental program, WWE INDY. The program is designed to provide up-and-coming independent wrestlers a pathway to a potential career in WWE. Under the program, WWE will provide prominent independent wrestling schools with the WWE INDY official designation, with the goal of providing new trainees and existing talent of all these select institutions with enhanced developmental opportunities. WWE INDY will also identify top independent wrestling prospects with an official WWE INDY prospect destination and support their developmental journey by providing financial opportunities and assisting with training, mentorships, and development. including access to facilities, ring training, athletic trainers, and more. And they did actually announce a couple of the first WWE ID independent wrestling schools. So here are the 5 that I do have listed here. We have Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, which is in Houston, Texas. Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, Georgia. Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy in Davenport, Iowa. Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center in Concord, New Hampshire. And Knox X Pro Academy in Los Angeles. And I believe Rakishi's school is another one that's going to be a part of the WWE ID. So how do you feel about this new independent wrestling program WWE's putting together?
1, it's a good way to scout some talent. 2, it keeps it in the WWE family. And 3, what a fucking way to, carve a good pathway to the big leagues. Like, you don't have to stop in all these like random promotions realistically. If like you don't have to, it's like a quick, like just fucking boost right to the destination, to the promised land. It's just now it's like you have to work a little harder. This is big. This is huge. This is game changing, man. This is something that I never thought WWE was ever going to do, and they're really changing the game of history now. And they're making all the right moves, man. It's hard to knock them. It's hard. It's really, really hard to knock them when they're really thinking this through, and they're really giving not only what the fans want, but they're really fulfilling a lot of the dreams of these, amateur and upcoming wrestlers that really want a shot at this and to really get microscoped, into the limelight of a lot of these legends that run and active superstars that run these schools. Even to this day, when they're not touring, they go to these schools and help run some of this training, dude. And what a fucking way to get noticed and be like, hey, I got this guy at my school that really needs to be a part of this and like really needs a quick shot to, get some kind of audition into like, NXT, get into the big leagues eventually, because dude, this is a way to really get discovered. And this is a wrestler's dream. So dude, big ups to WWE and everybody involved.
This is massive for professional wrestling as a whole. And I love that like
Big
Triple
ups.
H makes like the pro wrestling
He's
world
a collaborative effort, bro.
It's all. Here's the thing I like about it is back in the day with WWE, they tried to make the world outside of it not exist. Triple H, on the other hand, he's out here really friggin' making it exist, and I love that.
He's acknowledging
I remember one of the press conferences like years ago when Triple H, I believe he had like this presentation. It was like a PowerPoint presentation, and he had a lot of goals with NXT. And NXT was supposed to like expand, and like they were supposed to have like NXT Japan, NXT Mexico, NXT like
this.
UK, which is what we got. And now the fact that like we're not doing that, and like WWE as a whole now as a company are going to be having independent wrestling programs, this is fucking brilliant, because a lot of the times when there's a kid out there that dreams of being a WWE superstar, professional wrestler, a lot of the times they don't know they don't really look into it themselves.
They don't know
and
where to
then
start.
they end up getting trained by somebody that's that hasn't made it in the business, and they learn the wrong way. And I think that like WWE, they have been doing things the right way for the longest time, which is the reason why they have been in this position as like the top professional wrestling sports entertainment company in the entire world. So for them to like have this program and actually like teach people the right way, which is the WWE way of doing things, I think that this is absolutely brilliant. And I think that this is a great way to scout new talent. And I feel like when it comes to like professional wrestlers, you need to go out there, you need to grind, and you need to earn a contract. You shouldn't be given one. So I think this is a great way of doing things.
I agree.
And it's going to be interesting too to like see like how this works, because to me like this reminds me of like in the Karate Kid movies when Cobra Kai friggin' wins on the Cobra Kai series, and like they start taking over, like putting dojos like all over like the map, and like trying to really take over the world. Like this is what it reminds me of, and this is such a game changer move for the WWE, and I feel really bad for who's not a part of this. AEW.
Yep.
This is a great thing that WWE is doing, and
I agree.
Man, I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see like what stars come out of it. One person that's definitely probably kicking themselves right now is Zilla Fatu, because he was a part of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, but then he ended up leaving.
Well,
because
you
of his
also have to
ego.
remember what Booker just said not a couple days ago, saying that he's going to do everything in his power to get Zilla Fatu to WWE. So, I mean, there's still some good blood there.
Yeah, I just hope that Zilla Fatu can freaking get his ego in check, and
I
he
gotcha.
can start actually like doing things the right way.
I understand.
Like helping building the rings and doing the right thing like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Because he is very talented. He is. But congratulations though to WWE on doing this. I know there has been like mixed reviews about this WWE ID thing, because it is pretty much like Vince McMahon back in the day, like taking over all the territories and stuff. But I think that this is just a great way to get more eyes on the independent circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all
Especially on a
for
broad
this.
scope.
I know you are, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm sure we're going to be getting more news on this that we're going to be covering, but we had to make this our main event topic because this is huge.
Absolutely.
Never in a million years would we think WWE would do something with the independents.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the things we talked about this week on a spooky episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. We do have a couple things that we do want to plug. We've been talking about it for the last couple months. Saturday, November 16th, Wrestling Classic. We're going to be there. We're bringing in Nuncio, so I hope to see you guys there. And Blitzkrieg will be happening later on that night. Rhode Island Comic-Con, Friday, November 1st, and Saturday, November 2nd. Myself and Casual Cam will be there. So if you are at Rhode Island Comic-Con, if you see me, come say what's up. And then on November 8th and 9th, I'll be out in Long Island, New York, because big event is taking place on that Saturday. So we got a very busy month. Plus, on Saturday, Ben, while I'm at Rhode Island, you're going to be doing a live watch-along for WWE Crown Jewel.
Yes, sir.
And I'm kind of mad that Rhode Island Comic-Con's on the same day, because this card is looking really fucking good.
Big stack.
But, yeah, we got a lot of things going on. Survivor Series, AEW Full Gear. It's a busy week, so we highly recommend you guys following us over on the We Are Wrestling social media pages to stay up to date with everything. And also, We Are Wrestling, we do have some new swag now on Pro Wrestling Tees, so if you guys want to get yourself a We Are Wrestling shirt, you can go right ahead and do that. And also, if you guys haven't checked out the Crown Jewel predictions, that is out now, which is only myself, but we do have the rest of the We Are Wrestling team. They did send me their predictions, including Ben. So if you want to find out who Ben wants to win, the only way you can do that is watching that video. So if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the podcast, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. And if you're listening to this, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. Give us a follow, really helps with the algorithm. Links down in the description below. You can go follow myself and Ben over on our personal social media pages. And you can go follow Ben over on his Twitch page, which on Halloween, probably after this podcast comes out, he's going to be doing, what are you doing all day long?
Just a bunch of horror movies and a bunch of Halloween shit. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good time. I know I'll probably make an appearance in there. So if you guys want to go join Ben on his live stream, go follow him on Twitch. If you guys want to go check out my toy channel, Best One Donnie, I'm doing toy reviews. I'm doing toy hunts. A lot of packages have been coming into the studio that I've been reviewing. Recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. All the links down in the description box below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. Oh, also, I forgot to, if you guys want to donate to Chris Bay for his neck surgery and his recovery, you guys can go do that. It is the first link down below. But to all the Maniacs, we are taking over. Peace.